Wow, what a great first game we had, and an awesome second draft here as well for Tomb of the Spider Queen. This one could go either way, Grubby. Whose draft do you favor here?
I was really surprised, but also happy to see the Leoric pick, as there are so many compelling Entomb targets. I like Dignitas' draft here, but both have a lot of things going for them.
Well, let's introduce these teams, starting with Dignitas. Alex on Leoric, Bakery playing Karzim, JPL on Murden again, Mane on Falstad, and Snitch playing Zul.
He's been doing a lot of that, Snitch on Zul.
Yeah, he has.
One of the first Zuls that we see this tournament thus far, and we saw it once or twice before.
We have a bit of an issue with the communication here, but we are going to be taking a short pause. But as we do, we can actually introduce the Fnatic team, Breeze.
How ideal.
Yeah, Breeze playing ETC, Shrimpy playing Zagaras, Mexi on Rhaegar will be on Anubarak, and Quagnix on the Lunar, in case you were wondering, as we had this pause before we could really introduce them.
Now, we saw Leoric before being picked on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and if I just look up which one it was, I'll let you know in a second.
Sure.
But there were a lot of really high value Entombs on Lunara, as she's one of the primary targets. Even at level 20, she doesn't get Bolt of the Storm. She has a different form of escape, which is embedded in movement speed, Galloping Gait.
Yeah.
So an Entomb can and will always secure a kill on her if you land it fast enough, as her support is Rhaegar. So Ancestral Healing, you can counter it by doing all your damage in 1 second. So it's a very easy kill target. But back then, we saw, I think it was Team E-Punks, they were using Falstad to continually disengage from the Entomb.
Yeah, but this time, Falstad is on the side of Leoric.
Exactly.
And the other thing that's crazy about that is if you hit a multi-man Entomb, so you hit a 3-man Entomb, the boomerang value is huge if you execute it correctly.
Stacks.
Yeah.
You get 12 stacks for Gathering Storm.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's massive, massive damage, and it can be a very scary thing. It looks like the issues are resolved here.
And of course, Wolf, there's also entombing someone and then gusting the rest away.
That's also very true.
Isolate someone.
Very good point, and that then lends itself to 7-sided strike power, that isolation. That's very powerful.
If it's not Divine Palm, of course. But yeah, we could definitely see that, as there's a lot of people that can take care of themselves here.
So the thing I want to talk about when we compare these two teams' team comps is the team composition of Fnatic, I feel, is very powerful in the early game because it has ETC, it also has Nubrax. There's so much CC that can be used. So if you overextend into that type of composition, you will be locked down in stuns, and Quagnix will destroy you from a distance. But the lane pressure that Dignitas has is crazy. They also have Mane, who, even though on this small map, has a nice global presence. Well, they have so much pushing power with Leoric and Zul together here. So Webweaver's very, very potent on the side of Dignitas. If they get that first one, they can start to snowball the game in their favor.
We see the Prog Rock coming out of ETC there. We see Breeze choosing, no doubt going to combine that with Groupies at 13, but hold the phone there. Rhaegar gets taken down, Smexy being the unfortunate first death here this time. Pressure is off of Quagnix.
Yeah, in this case. Wooby was disjointed from the team in that moment, and he wouldn't have been able to save him, I don't think, anyways, but just a nice pick here, nice 4-man rotation from Dignitas here. Alex going to be able to easily just Wraith Walk away here to save himself in this situation. One of the cool things about Leoric is he can actually get himself out of sticky situations in the early game against all this CC, just simply using that Wraith Walk.
Yeah, it gives the unstoppable. His corporeal form will continue taking damage, but it will not be able to get locked down anymore until you reposition yourself in the new shaded form.
That's right. And we might see Hardened Bones taken, although it's not really the meta. And yet again, we don't see Reanimation taken at level 1. We see Hopelessness, which is the Drain Hope range increase. So he can, make sure that he can lock down targets from a further distance. As you guys can see here, Quagnix is even having trouble trade with him as Lunara, just simply because he's able to maintain that link the entire time and get that healing up. So it makes it a lot easier for him to lane, and it's stronger in team fights as well.
Shrimpy will dodge the Stormbolt with a timely mount up and running away there. Nice for him. And about the reanimation, in one of the recent patches we had that treatment for Regeneration Master that caps the acquisition of globes at 30, and it also gives 500 bonus health once you complete that quest. But Leoric got a different treatment. He has 10 seconds off of his death timer with that reanimation, and that's simply not as good if you're planning not to die.
It's just simply a nerf to his trait directly.
So the hopelessness helps him to have a little bit more healing from where it would otherwise get disjointed, and also more damage. And we all know how much pro gamers value damage, as they put a lot of stock in their ability to stay alive.
And we do see his Filthy Unto Death at level 4, which is really the way Europeans are playing him right now, which gives him so much more sustain in the lane. He can basically solo forever, and when he has a push going, he's never really going to have to worry about tapping or going back as long as he is killing those minions as he pushes forward. Bakery rotating up here a little bit, and they are going to start working on Breeze just to zone them out for another turn. And Dignitas does have enough here for a complete Webweaver push, and they already have the majority of these turn-in. They have 17 left, 12 to go on the turn-in. So right now the onus is on Fnatic to deny this. Alex is channeling that right now, baiting a fight here.
He was channeling the Drain Hope while he was trying to pay.
Yeah, and look at this. The damage it does might actually secure a kill here on Breeze, taking a lot of damage. Bakery runs in, but there's the heal to keep him alive. Regardless, they get the first web weavers here, and this is how things can start to snowball, especially because they have Zul and Leoric to push. It's a much more powerful pushing power than what Fnatic has to offer on their side. There's no Sylvanas in this game, but Zul is basically the second best thing.
Yeah, exactly. And normally when you can't get Zul, that's when you think about getting Leoric. Well, they've actually got both. Insane lane pressure, which also allows them to group up more than the opponent, as they can rotate faster once they get all the XP that they would like to get out of a lane.
Exactly. Zul's actually just going to sit in the bot lane and get extra EXP right now while they push this mid fort. Leoric rotates up to the top, is going to get mad value there as well. And remember, with his Filthy Unto Death, he has so much sustain, and he's also got the Skeletal Swing range upgrade now at 7 here, so he can clear even easier.
See a few flying storm bolts missing their mark for now, so no takedowns yet. Definitely a more docile early game thus far than the last game, which is good for Fnatic. Nonetheless, we see a level lead, very solid. All the walls have gotten taken down.
Yeah. 37 gems in total for Fnatic right now is what they're carrying, so they need to be careful. Actually, even jumping up here with this wave clear now to 48, they need to be careful not to lose anyone so they can make sure to secure that next turn in. But if they play too passively, Dignitas, with that fast wave clear they have, can simply just get another turn in back-to-back here.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, normally you don't really turn in your gems, like small pieces at a time, because there's simply no point, except if you expect to die. It's nice for safety, but if it's a waste of time, you don't want to do it. The reason Dig has been doing it is because they clear their wave that fast.
Exactly.
They're like, teacher, do you have any more work for me? Because I'm done. Okay, go turn in your gems.
And the extra credit, and they're turning it in.
That's why they're trickling them in 3 at a time. There's simply nothing else to do.
It's exactly what I was talking about earlier. They have the better lane pressure here with this composition. Bakery does get caught. He's going to need to dash away. Mane does come over just into range here, but there's no way they can follow this up. They cannot punish this because he's just simply too low. But all this time, Snitch getting value in the bot lane. They're going to get 10 first. They're so much closer. They're a whole level ahead right now.
Breeze, Stormbolt, JPO gets him with that, but he still had Power Slide available. We'll go out, and Quacknick's covering that retreat.
Okay, this is an opportunity for Fnatic. Swimpy has just enough here for the turn-in, and they will get the Web Weavers. He does channel that. He does get that in. And Dignitas was closer to 10 here, but this is going to give a great opportunity to Fnatic. They won't be able to get as much as they would have liked to here, and they don't have the pushing power that Dignitas does, but this is still a great opportunity for them, and they took it very well.
The turnaround now after the failed snipe attempt on Snitch, but it will not result in any deaths yet. Interestingly, by the way, Anubarak's level 7 talent, Wooby, a very avid Thrall player, is now mimicking Thrall's style a little bit, getting that Shed exoskeleton. 30% bonus movement speed every 7 seconds when you can use your Hardened Carapace.
Yeah, it's like a mini Wind Fury, if you will.
Exactly.
So,
not the attack element, but the movement speed.
Yeah, definitely very, very useful. Now, level 10 is reached, by the way, for Dignitas, so they do have this opportunity to engage and punish the heavy push that's in the bot lane right now. So this is something that Fnatic will have to be wary of. Looks like they're just going to play it safe and clear the Web Weavers and minimize structural damage before they look for a fight.
Wolf, no walls or towers were even taken out with the entire objective. That's the depth of the advantage that Dignitas is holding here.
And by the way, we have Skeletal Mages coming out for Snitch here, so he's going to be able to, with the Entomb, lock them in even harder. Then we have that 7-side strike I was talking about, which pairs well with it pairs well with the Gust. You know, if you stop them from getting blown away while they're in that Entomb, you've got Skeletal Mages to slow them down. You have one target specifically. Oftentimes, it might even be a squishy. That 7-side strike damage is so powerful. And right after the turn-in, because of all that lane pressure, I mean, this is a lane pressure that's normally not seen after a web weaver push. Normally, you're the one who's having to clear the lanes and slow things down. They have so much pressure. They have the level 10s, and Fnatic still doesn't, so they cannot deny that second web weaver for the blue team.
So here comes the second punch in this 1-2 punch. The objective once again summoned for Team Dignitas. Everyone has their heroics. So now we will see how that combination will work out that we've been alluding to. Of course, Fnatic has their own. They've got Mosh Pit, Devouring Maul, also a very powerful wombo.
And it's just going to be a split here for Dignitas again. They're going to push all 3 lanes. They want to get as many forts as possible here, and they may be able to get 2 with the pushing power they have. They actually send Leoric down. They're going to focus on this mid fort first. The top push, though, is undealt with right now.
Yeah, I think there can be 3 forts here if Dignitas plays their cards right. If they get out when this fort dies and rotate to the bottom, the top one will almost die by itself.
Yeah, this is out of ammo, so they can just let this go. They can leave this now. That will go down, it looks like, to this wave, and if not, it will be basically dead. They can rotate up to the top here. The bot one is being dealt with by Zagar right now, so it looks like they will get 2 maximum with the push, but still a great trade here for Dignitas.
Yeah, they didn't want to overreach themselves, settling for the 2 out of 3.
I think that's fair.
The bottom still had a lot of ammunition and health.
This is a 9-minute game with a 2-level lead here for Dignitas with 1 kill. It's just been the lane pressure alone that's given them all this value, that's given them all this push, this bullying of the lanes that they have with the composition they have. They only have 1 specialist here, but Leoric is serving somewhat as that secondary wave pusher because of the build that they've chosen and just how he simply works as a hero. And they are actually going to commit to this bot fort. They won't be able to get it, though, but they get out safely. They don't overextend. And 84 gems right now held by Fnatic. They cannot lose a team fight right now or they will not be able to get their next web weaver.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a very downward spiral on this battleground. You'll be pushed all the way back to your keep. You'll be giving away a boss. It's too painful. Now, one hero that we really need to pay a lot of attention to, besides the very dutiful wave clearing we're seeing coming out of heroes like Zul and Leoric, is Mene here on Falstad. It's completely up to him not to get burrow charged, impaled, and then get mosh pitted, because he is the primary method of stopping a mosh pit.
Yeah,
and if he minds his positioning, he stays far enough back, everything is going to be fine for Dignitas.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because he actually took updraft at 4, which allows him more safety against those types of CCs. Not only the Anubarox burrow charging the impales, but also the ETC power slides. He's so much more flexible, he's so much safer. Knowing your composition's weakness and picking a talent that's less greedy and more safe is so powerful. And plus, it can also set up really great gusts. You can actually position yourself a little bit faster suddenly and catch the other team off guard.
Don't you like it when things make sense?
Yes, I do.
Sometimes, like, I think of that level 4 talent on Falstad, and I'm thinking, like, well, Hammer Games is pretty cool. Maybe I take some damage here and there. I want to heal up a bit on a minion wave, or, you know, the static charge to save yourself from melee assassin. No, he actually has one job here. Stop the apocalypse. Don't get stun locked and don't get mosh pitted, and you will save your team from everything that they can't save themselves from. Because this is a very independent team. The only way they lose that fight is the wombo combo with the mosh and the maul.
Yeah.
So updraft. Makes sense.
And because of this lane pressure, this bullying, they get another web weaver turn in here, and Fnatic is just going to sit back and take it because there's nothing they can do a talent tier down right now to stop this from happening. They don't want to risk deaths because they're carrying so many gems. And Dignitas is just slowly choking them out right now just with their lane pressure alone. And this mid push might actually start to damage the keep if they're not careful. And Fnatic just has to be very careful not to misengage here. Maybe try to set up a mosh pit on the defensive, but never going in on the offensive right now. But eventually, they're going to run out of structures if they just sit back forever.
Yeah, imagine this game ends and like not a single heroic will have been used by Team Fnatic.
It starts to feel like that's a very possible situation here with how passive they're being, but it's safety here. But they're not overextending.
You know all those great war generals, either from history or the fantasy novels, where they're like, I have won all my battles without ever having fought one.
Yeah.
It looks like that's what Dignitas is doing here.
And it's very powerful. Now they actually have the ability to slow down the possible turn in here. And another option they have because of their positioning right now is to boss instead and just trade the boss for the web weaver push. Okay, here comes Fnatic. They do scout this.
Good. That's a good kind of face check that I like to see. Wisp.
Yeah, the Wisp face, that's fine.
Yeah.
Alex looked like he was considering committing there, but they are going to disengage. 128, 129 gems for Fnatic right now, but they just simply can't even leave their base. They can't get close to the turn-ins. And for the first time, Dignitas can't just get another turn-in. They only have 20 this time, but they're not going to overextend, not even going to riskily take a boss. They're going to win the war without fighting a battle, as you said, just choking out what Fnatic is doing here. They're like playing the Anaconda strategy. They're squeezing, they're choking, but they're never going to overextend. They already have a 3-structure lead, and it's tough for Fnatic at this stage in the game to try to punish them for it.
It'll take a while to collect those gems as the oppressive, dominant map control force here that Dignitas is, because you have to go so deep to get those gems. But eventually you will scrounge enough gems to be able to pay. It will take a while. And this is what Fnatic is trying to wait for. They're trying to get level 16 and then fight. But the problem is, even if they are on equal talents, the problem remains, how do they secure a fight that they don't just get blown away from after expending some of their most important heroic abilities?
Yeah, that's the question here, and it's funny. It's like Dignitas just annexed this. Like, oh, that's mine. That's my bruiser cap, and Fnatic's like, okay, sure. I guess we can't even do anything about it.
Putting a flag there,
yeah.
And Fnatic is like, no, please, no. All right.
This is a slow and painful defeat, perhaps, here for Fnatic.
So
I mean, they
just stand next to this.
They're being so safe, but they know if they actually mess up a team fight, fighting a talent tier down, they'll never be able to get Web Reavers. But if they win a team fight, if Dignitas makes a mistake, they can get a turn in. They can use that to get a second turn in. They're going to get all that bonus EXP, because with 6 forts still available here, they have that catch-up EXP they can get. Maybe they can get 20 faster. They're hoping for a miracle here, but the problem with that is that Dignitas isn't making any mistakes, not giving them any windows, and that every time they get in, they get closer and closer to the keeps. We just back off here. And this time they might actually rotate up to the boss. Mene can fly in if he needs to, and because they have Falstad, it's going to be tough for Fnatic to deny this.
Now, could this be the #1 mistake? So far, Dignitas has not allowed miracles to happen. They have taken a scientific approach to prevent exactly that. Now, let's evaluate the value of this boss. It can probably kill a keep, and it probably will. And would this have been the best chance to go there? Problem is Falstad. He's got a reset button. Even if there was an invasion, they were already halfway with the boss by the time Fnatic could have been the wiser.
The only thing they could have maybe done, but they don't have a hero that allows for this type of play, would have been to try to get a pick on Mene while that was happening, because he was in the bot lane. But the second they go for him, he just flies up anyways. You can't catch him.
But at some point, you've got to make a move.
You have to make a move, or you just lose the game by waiting and dying.
This could be the first game that is lost with over 300 gems in the possession of the losing team.
Yeah. Okay, here's the Entomb here. Dignitas is actually going to press the issue. Alex taking a lot of damage, so Quagnix is loving this. He's doing all that extra damage. Wubby, there's the burrow charge in. The 7-side strike goes down, though, and a 3-man Maw.
This could be it. Mighty Gust is still available, but it's not going to be good enough.
Oh, man. The mosh pit here, the 3-man mosh pit. This was what Fnatic was looking for. This is why they were patient. They were waiting for this moment right here, right now. 3 kills now, 175 gems to be turned in. This is patience paying off. They lost the keep. The boss is doing some shield damage on the core, but now they can start their comeback. And with the comeback mechanics that we have with EXP in Heroes of the Storm, they may be able to, if they can continue to snowball this, get 20 before Dignitas. Hard to believe in a game that went into 15, 16 minutes with only 1 kill on the table, that just one fight for Fnatic that they've been waiting for this entire time, that Wombo combo, could turn this game on its head.
Everything is different now, Wolf, and Fnatic has got to make use of this time. There's another 5 seconds where 2 heroes are not available. They need to start working on those gates, get that pocket XP you were referring to, and come back into this game. Hero levels will be equal soon. And this all started with the initiation by Dignitas, Leoric, Alex the Prodigy starting that Entomb there. Was it necessary? It's something to look back on later. But for now, Fnatic is back in this game.
Yeah. Sometimes people say pro gaming is about not actually how well you play, but how few mistakes you make. Sure, and that's one of those moments where you look back and you go, was that really necessary, that one move I made? Now, in Dignitas' defense, they still have all these structures for Fnatic to go through. And if they take a team fight, all these gems are still there. They only had 1 turn, and there's still tons of gems. Quagnix himself is holding 53 gems. If they pick him off, if they isolate him and get that kill and no one can recover those gems, there's a lot to lose right now. So Fnatic, even though they have this moment, they have this advantage, they can get some of these forts, they also need to make sure that they themselves do not overextend.
Oh, heavy impact.
Yeah, JPL going in. Oh, there's the the Entomb there as well. He's going in.
Rather than going out, he went in. He had that Locust Swarm. He believed in his survivability. A single takedown in favor of Fnatic here would secure them the second turn-in.
Yeah.
And they have 2 consecutive turn-ins queued up.
And Breeze had a few seconds left there on Mosh Pit. And I think they were starting to realize, ooh, if we commit here, you might have Mosh up. And that could have been another disastrous Mosh here. And with 1 turn-in, they are able to get 3 forts here, at least nearly. The top one just narrowly surviving here. But Fnatic going to cut their losses here in mana and go back home, make sure that they can hold on to all 148 gems. And Dignitas still, with those deaths earlier, does not have enough to punish them with a turn-in, and they know that. So this is the time to just kind of hearth home and set up for the next objective.
Now, who has the better level 20 heroics? I didn't think we would get to this point, Wolf.
Yeah, it didn't look like it, right?
To measure this on the scale. Leoric and Murdin, they're going to get either some bonus damage or survivability. Karazim, he could go Storm Shield. He could get 11-sided. Probably not. Falstad, maybe Epic Mount.
Yeah.
Zul, he can get the Bone Spear. It's all a bit of damage and survivability. I feel like some really key talents are coming in for Fnatic. ETC, maybe with Turbas, maybe Bolt of the Storm. He gets so much more control and reach that Menace positioning has to be more important than ever. And even if he wants to be any force at all in a team fight, he's within Breeze's reach, basically.
Yeah. And I feel like the better 20s go to Dignitas because of the Epic Mount, because of the Bone Sphere, which will get value immediately, so? Especially on this map.
Oh, I thought maybe Fnatic has the more impactful level 20.
It's actually hard.
ETC.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to really say. Also, Spectral Leech is crazy powerful, especially versus 2 tanks like this. So extra damage that he can grab here. It looks like it's going to be yet another Fnatic Web Weavers 20 for both teams right now at basically the exact same time. 2 members here caught though. JPL is going in. Breeze going to use that face melt for the escape. JPL gets the Stormbolt though, but the rest of his team cannot follow up. They're not close enough.
Now we have 2 more targets who are not able to be caught by Entomb anymore. Bolt of the Storm on ETC and Zagara. And of course ETC can use that aggressively as well. And another Web Weaver.
Okay, here we go. Dignitas needs to be careful not to overextend here. They're also fighting under heavily scaled Web Weavers. Here's the 11-side strike you're talking about. He did commit to it, but not enough damage here to actually isolate anybody. JPL jumps into the backlines here. He's hoping for it. He drops his avatar. He's slowing everyone. The Storm Shield goes down, though, and he may have overextended. He's taking so much damage right now. There's the Burrow Charge in, and actually, it isolates him because of the Gust, and Wubby will be the first to die. And the 3-man Mosh!
3-man Mosh here. This could be it. Devouring Maw still available, but it's not needed.
Oh, JPL having to retreat here, narrowly escaping.
Hey, wait a minute. Yeah, this is an advantage of Dignitas.
Yeah. And that was all about his escape there. Without JPL actually getting out of that fight, that would have been disastrous, and Fnatic may have been able to end the game. But as it is now, it's 2 dead for Fnatic. They were healthier, but they can't push this Web Weaver any further, and all 3 keeps remain alive.
This is unusual. We have 2 deaths here for Team Fnatic, and Ancestral and Maw are still up. Something went wrong there. The isolation of Mighty Gustin and Nubrak charging in was very unfortunate. Also considering he used his Hardened Shield during 11-sided strike. It looked like that one was almost completely wasted. It was going against Dampen, Magic and Hardened Shield. But then eventually that re-engage.
Now it looks like Dignitas is going to go for this turn-in. There's no way that Fnatic can deny them, and they cleared the creep. They came in here, they did this. Now, let's see how they decide to use this. Are they going to get greedy? Or are they going to try to go for a top push to end the game? I don't think so. I think they're going to play it safe, just like they did for the majority of the early game, and they're going to try to secure a second keep. If they're lucky, if they get picks, they might be able to get 2 keeps, but they're going to keep it. Just 1 is the focus for now. They have both the top and mid lanes pushed, so those Web Weavers are going to be getting closer and closer to the core, especially that top push could become a problem if they get some picks here, so Fnatic cannot make any mistakes in this team fight.
Yeah, it's all about this middle push here. JPL jumping in. Mena not even spending a second longer in the bot lane, trying to have the bottom Web Weaver push all the way to the bottom keep. That is not even a factor. It will arrive almost completely depleted. It's all about this push here. A single keep would make Dignitas happy.
All right, they need to be careful not to overextend. JPL taking a lot of damage yet again here. Of course, his trade allows him to heal up very quickly if he can get out of the combat. We'll be setting up for a flank here as well. All he needs is 1 Burrow Charge to set up an amazing Mosh. Mosh just now off cooldown here. There's a Gust. Quagnix is caught. He's stunned. I'm willing to get out. He gets out of the Storm Shield and the Cleanse as well. Many having to jump away here. Also, JPL taking a lot of damage. Alex is going to be able to get out, but they did not get the push they wanted here, and they will not get the keep.
There goes core damage. That is going to make it easier later to finish it off. 20% in all. And the depleted Web Weaver arriving here, 20% of its health. Just doing one purple thing, which actually...
almost got the wall.
Yeah.
Not quite.
And 2% of the HP on the Moonwell.
Now, Bruiser spawning at a very convenient timing here for Fnatic. They may just go ahead and grab those. The boss is available, so they're probably going to send a Wisp over just to make sure that isn't being taken, as Mene is actually soloing the Mercs at bot. Looks like Breeze is coming up here to check. They're starting to suss out that the boss is actually not being taken right now, especially with the Mercs and bot being shown by Mene. And a Web Weaver is available for Fnatic. All they need to do is win a team fight, and they can have that next Web Weaver push. But they're in a much more dire situation. A Web Weaver push for them does not necessarily mean that they'll be able to finish the game. For Dignitas, however, winning a team fight absolutely will.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the siege situation here. With the HP of the core, with the control that Falstad can offer, even an Entomb to keep people inside their Hall of Storms, that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Big turn-ins here for Dignitas, but it's still not enough for the Web Weavers. It puts on more pressure. It means that losing a team fight or getting picked isn't going to be as big of a deal here.
Yeah. JPL with the very aggressive rewind there, giving him double heavy impact stuns, double Stormbolt.
Yeah, it's my go-to. Double escapes as well if he gets in a really dire situation.
Hop, hop.
Yep, or can hop in and hop out if his initial hop was considered to be maybe a bit too aggressive. I love the positioning of Alex, by the way. He's using the fact that he can do a lot of damage. He can actually put a lot of damage on and heal himself. So basically, he trades for positive damage, forces mana to be used, and then just Wraith Walk out. He's scouting. He's finding the position of where his opponents are at all times, where they're positioned, and where they're set up. Okay, this is Fnatic's opportunity to grab this Web Weaver push. It's risky, but they have to do something or else they're just going to eventually slowly find themselves whittled out of this game.
Lunara starting to put out so much damage at this stage in the game. Having a superior poison damage scaling than most heroes have on anything, 4.5%, makes her such a late game power out. Look at that damage she's putting out on Muradin.
Yeah, every time JPL comes in, he regrets it because Quagnix is there and he's punishing. And this puts Bakery on this incredible, he's got this incredible job to do, is to keep everyone healed up, or else Quagnix is going to start getting kills. Snitch may be the first of those to go down. You really premature Maw here going down. Not the best. Alex is just going to take it and walk away.
I guess it's better than not using it the whole fight.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Okay, this was a totally wasted Entomb. 7-side strike wasted here as well. And this is going to allow Fnatic to get the turn-ins. They have the position advantage here. Webby looking like he wanted to go for the chase, but they're just going to get the Web Weavers. They're going to play this safe. They're going to get a keep. That's what they're looking to do here.
Getting two more gems needed. Webby can pay, Quagnix can pay, but they're currently not in position. Dodge on the Stormbolt.
Yeah, it's almost like they had some miscommunication there about what was going to be done.
Maths. Don't do maths on stream.
Yeah. Almost made me wonder if they were going to go for the boss instead. They wanted to try to time this out because they knew Fnatic didn't quite have enough yet. Fnatic actually needs about 8 more.
They dare to delay it intentionally, right?
I don't know. It seems like a mistake, right?
Yeah.
The tensions are so high here at 26 minutes in to Game 2. Dignitas, if they win this, they just advance to the playoffs. Fnatic wants that Game 3. Okay, nice Entomb here onto Breeze. 7-side strike, not hitting every single one, though. There's the Ancestral. JPL going all the way in. Quagnix not targeting him here. He's coming around. Now JPL needs to get out. He might even have to rewind to escape. He's taking so much damage right now.
Wooby on the Nobarak, and he gets taken down finally.
This fight isn't over, though. Quagnix is doing a lot of damage. Even though it's a 4v5, he's damaged everyone so heavily. Mene needs to be careful about how he engages this. And it looks like both teams are just going to back off for now. But that 50-second remaining death timer for a Nubrok right now is so unfortunate. And Dignitas has enough for a Web Weaver push, so Fnatic has to try to delay this. Mene is going for the turn-in on the second Web Weavers to the bottom. And there's no one there to deny him. He will get it in.
20 gems left, and they're spread out actually over every single hero on Team Dignitas, so it's not as easy to pay as you might think. Little bit of an epic mount, jump there by Mena to get in position, and that's the 3-minute tomb!
Oh, a huge entomb here. Alex is taking a lot of damage. Everyone will escape. JPL's on the chase, though. A great face melt to push him away, though.
Oh.
And the 3-man Maw, they can turn this. Still 15 seconds left on a
Should Fnatic stay here? Should they? They are staying.
Oh, the 3-man
Maw!
And this is crazy. This could turn the game around. Breeze gets the first kill. He's trying to escape. Mana's on the chase. JPL with that momentum there, that big stun, that landing momentum, gets the stun here. And this is probably going to be game. Quagnix, the last man standing. Wubby's coming back, though, and they're in the middle here. So there is a keep to defend, and everyone in Dignitas is so low. They won't win the game off of this, at least not right now, but they will get another turn in.
Oh, I really feel like Fnatic misread this situation. They're a beautiful devouring mob, but low on mana, low on health, a man down, and they start to re-engage. Yes, it was a beautiful 3-man mosh pit, and we saw Leoric dying there. He was the most backwards target, but the lowest, so an easy one to try and focus. But that was a 1-for-1, and then suddenly Smexy, he's out of position as well with that Rhaegar.
They're going to use boss to finish here. You know what? They could even try to pair this with a turn-in if they're very, very careful.
I don't know if this is safe. Nubarak, Lunara, Leoric is back. I guess it's the 5 versus 2.
Wubby is coming in here. Quagnix coming in as well, trying to get a ton of damage off, and he will do a lot. Bakery's getting low here. This is the power of late game Lunara. Bakery is dead.
Yeah.
Wubby pulling it back. Quagnix doing something we've never seen before. He's doing so much damage right now. He is being pushed away, but he denies the boss basically on his own. Wubby coming in for the support. What a crazy game this is turning out to be. We're nearly hitting the 30-minute mark right now.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
And Fnatic is, with this move, going to be able to get another turn in. All 3 keeps still available, still up here.
I guess it wasn't safe.
It was not safe. You were absolutely right. And with this, they actually are going to start the boss to time it with the web weavers. If they do this correctly, if they push correctly, they could actually end the game with the Bosch and all 3 web weavers.
Now, there is Falstad, there's Mighty Gust, and 2 warriors. I don't think this is safe either.
This is very risky. It's tough for Mene to get in here and get the right angle to gust them away. But again, you have to respect Quagnix's damage here at 29 minutes into the game.
He's letting it go. Swimpy's letting it go. They just want to take a single kill, and that is the fruit of their labor here, showing, hello, we're here at the boss, we summoned the web weavers. The fact that this yellow spot is still there means we're doing it. And that's a kill on Leoric.
Yeah,
Alex.
It's a kill on Leoric, so he doesn't have reanimation, but he's still going to be able to slow down his death timers here. He's going to come up a lot faster, but still, he doesn't have any wave clear here to slow down this push for the time being. 38 seconds to go on that death timer. Mosh Pit's up, Ancestral's up, Maw is up, and we've already seen what Quagnix can do 30 minutes into the game with all that Lunara scaling. This is a terrifying moment here for Dignitas. They were ahead basically all game, but they could lose it here.
Lunara, by the way, with that Giant Killer, which is why she was able to even chunk Murden that hard. And we never actually see that talent on Lunara.
Quagnix gets caught here, and the Gust, the isolation goes down. Quagnix is dead!
The biggest threat has been eliminated.
And Swimpy is on the run here. He has to get out. JPL in perfect positioning here. The keep is dead, but if they actually wipe, they end the game here. JPL on the chase. Wubby's on the retreat. They're trying to slow this down, and Dignitas backs off. They lost the mid keep as well. It looks like they're a bit concerned about this last web weaver. They are going to stop and turn around, defend their core.
Yeah, you know what? That's kind of okay, Fnatic to pull back here. But the problem is, if they pull back and heal, or if they pull back and give the map, they will give the turn-in. It's a 4 versus 5 situation. They've got to start poking down Dignitas, starting before Dignitas attempts to even pay.
Yeah.
And you kind of see them try to do that, to pose a threat here.
And Quagnix is the best person for this, but because he was killed with the tomb earlier, he isn't here. He's not here able to do that poke damage that we saw earlier that denied the boss, for example. Wubby up on the front lines right now, taking a lot of damage, trying to use his dampen magic to absorb damage. Mene's going for the turn-in. They can't deny him. It is going to be a Dignitas web weaver here. Now at 31 minutes and 12 seconds into the second game.
Well, Fnatic actually finds themselves a keep up. I never thought we would see the moment in this game. The longest game so far of this EU regional here. Yeah. 31 minutes and counting. Very back and forth with only 9 versus 8 takedowns.
The patience, the idea of slow and steady wins the race. We were, being somewhat worried and a little bit critical, saying, well, how long can you really sit back and turtle before you die, before you just are eliminated, grinded off of the map?
They waited for that one shot.
Yeah, they turn the game around. This is going to be a powerful push, but because Quagnix is up, look at how much damage he does.
Oh my God.
Right now,
Quagnix.
I want to look at his stats. He is at 133k hero damage, 360,000 siege damage right now.
He's going for 500,000.
Yeah, he's nearly there, and he might get it with this game. Look at all the damage he's putting off right now. Dignitas actually can't stay grouped up like this. They're taking way too much damage from Quagnix. He's poking them down, forcing them back. They will probably get this keep here. The Webweaver is dead.
Well,
Manny's going to commit to it with that Q.
It's defender's advantage now. The Webweaver is gone. They've got the slow from the keep still there. So this was a very unimpactful Webweavers,
Dude,
as strange as it may seem.
Breeze is going in. He's going in. He has Bolt. Don't forget, he can actually bolt in and set up a mosh. He can bolt in for a great power slide to allow Quagnix to get a pick.
And we haven't seen that once yet. He's only used it defensively.
Definitely something that they could use just as a win condition. That one perfect bolt. All right, they're committing again to this keep, but they fail again, and this might be a fatal mistake. Look at Quagnix's positioning here.
Oh, the burrow charge!
Burrow charge does miss here. Quagnix is on the chase, though. He wants to do this damage to Snitch.
Now, Galloping Gate has been used. So Quagnix, you use that to chase down. It's a little bit greedy, which means that right now he is more of a target for Alex with an Entomb. And this has killed Fnatic's chances to win a fight before if Quagnix gets caught. The only one without a very compelling escape there together with Rhaegar.
Dignitas is going to go ahead and try to turn in here. They don't have enough for a Webweaver, but they're very, very close. And this is just kind of one of those safety moves where they can secure the turn in later, even with perhaps just one pick on Quagnix, as we saw before, making it more difficult for them to actually deny that turn in. The top lane is actually being pushed by Quagnix alone himself right now. He's going to get for the Wisp for the flank to get more vision, to see if they're going to retreat here. He rotates down. Every heroic is off cooldown here with the exception of Avatar. Something to keep in mind. It looks like Quagnix is again going to go on the chase, and he knows, Snitch knows, he drops down those mages to try to slow down the chase, and Quagnix is going to back off.
I'll tell you what, I think ETC Breeze, he's pretty happy right about now that he picked up Progressive Rock and Groupies with something like 55 globes of regeneration collected already.
Yeah.
Loads of bonus healing for anyone clustering around him anytime he uses his guitar solo.
34-minute game right now. This is the map that goes long because Webweavers don't end games as much as the other objectives in this game. It's too risky to boss for either team with the heroics we have available here, so the boss is just out of the question right now. Like, no one's ever going into there. The pit of opportunities. Snitch is going to go for this turn-in. They're so risky actually putting him in here to try to go for this turn-in because they're not even close to enough unless Alex can get that turn-in. He has 16 of 17. It's all about him right now if they are going to get those Webweavers.
Oh, that was very scary. Mene was looking ETC in the face at close distance. Breeze not throwing it for his team by doing some kind of like, every time I see an enemy, let's power slide and mosh pit. We see that far too much. And just the caution that both teams are showing here shows not just the level of respect, but of discipline.
Yeah.
This is the kind of mistakes that you remove from your play in practice games. Every time you make a mistake, you analyze it. But guess what? In the meantime, the core just took a very casual 38 plus 50 shield. I think it's 50% shield still.
Yeah.
But anyway, 30% real structural damage from a few unchecked catapults, because that's how hard they hit at this stage in the game. Like
exactly
7-8% per hit.
Yeah. And that's something that's going to be a big problem here. The top lane is something that obviously was kind of an issue for Fnatic for a long time, but they kept that mid keep alive. I mean, how many times Mene tried to get in there and finish it off? He couldn't do it. And now Dignitas is actually starting to feel a little bit desperate. They have to take a fight, and they have to take it soon. We haven't seen an Entomb attempt in a long time, but I think that's going to be the way. An Entomb with a Gust. Quagnix sitting so much value here. If Quagnix is left to do auto attacks, you can see he turns the fight. He basically just reduces the health pool of all heroes. It's almost like an unfair advantage that he gives if he actually gets a few of those hits off. Throwing his vines down, just poking. Okay, here's a disengage with the Gust. They were fearful there, maybe even trying to time it. Good mages here.
Has been used. Pretty big commitment into controlling this point. And Quagnix casually 3 times hitting Snitch. Mene trying to isolate Quagnix.
He's trying to go for it. He's going for it. He's trying to get the solo kill. There's the heal. JPL on the chase as well, and they don't get it. 7-side strike being used here, but it's wasted.
Smexy now the target, and Doom heavy impact. He's going to use his last moment to heal up Quagnix. But the mosh pit!
The mosh pit, the Ancestral goes on to Quagnix, and here he goes. There's the Maw. This should be game. Snitch is on the retreat. I think this will do it. Alex will be the first to fall here. And there he goes. Breeze picks up the kill on Karzim. JPL is turning around to try to buy time, but I don't think it'll matter. He escapes. He's hearthing. It's only 2 kills, as it turns out here. Mene and Snitch both escaping. But at this point in the game, with 50 seconds left on Bakery, Fnatic should be able to end this.
Now, was this the right choice? Do you let Murden go? We've seen a moment like this before with Tychus. Do you not chase the straggler when you go for the core? We will see. 5 versus 3. From the looks of it, Fnatic might be able to do it.
Oh man, JBL is gonna go down though. He goes down,
There
and
we
that
go.
should just be it with all the damage Quacknick's coming off. Looks like this game is finally over at 37 minutes in. Wubby does escape here. Stitch trying to do what he can, dropping the skeletal mages. The Entomb goes down as well. They're just ignoring it. Stitch taking so much damage. The core is under attack, dropping now down to 30%, and that will finally be game. Fnatic is bringing us to a game 3. GG! What an incredible series this has turned out to be. The slowest start. We were nearly 20 minutes in with just 1 kill, and everything changed when they committed to that Entomb, and Fnatic waited patiently for that moment, turned things around. 450,000 siege damage for Quacknick's, nearly 200,000 hero damage in this long game that nearly broke 40 minutes. This game will go down in Heroes of the Storm history, absolutely.
Unbelievable. And what a treat. We're going to get a 3rd game here, Wolf.
Yeah, we are. I'm super duper hyped. And I imagine both teams need a moment to calm down after that insanely tense game where every single moment mattered, every single skill shot mattered. Really excited to see what the panelists who've also been eagerly waiting for this game to end, seeing its result, what Kendrick and the boys have to say about game number 2. So Kendrick, take it away.
What a game. I mean, you don't get to see a 30 or 35-minute Heroes of the Storm game every day, do you? And Color, I mean, we had the right guess in the end. I mean, we could have also said easy peasy, but no, that was not an easy game at all.
I never doubted them for a second. No, in all seriousness, I mean, I saw the draft and I said they're going to take it, but I looked at the draft and was just like, there is no way they're going to win that game. They had no wave clear. They fell behind early, and it was just like, this is it. This is going to be a 2-0, and I was like, well, at least I can get over. I was like, guys, I trusted in you. You broke that trust. You owe me a beer. Yeah. And he was just standing there. Michael McIntyre was just standing there. Was looking at it. Was looking, easy. 2-0. And all of a sudden, this
that one face is priceless right there.
The one mosh pit happens, and it was brilliant. Like, he stands there, like, we gave them 3 kills. It's fine. And looks, and all of a sudden, you can really tell it's getting a little bit quieter. Game continues.
Yeah.
It's like 18 versus 18. He's standing there. It's like, I should be quiet until they get another kill.
Kalaris was actually explaining the game to the makeup lady. He was like, yeah, you know, Dignitas really easy win. There's nothing going to happen over there.
I think it was you that was explaining the game.
It was like, Brits.
Here's the boss. Here's Kalaris.
As he was equally harsh on Fnatic in game number 1, I'm going to be equally harsh on Dignitas. They didn't need to go for that boss. They could have just turned in the Web Weavers and won the game. But no, they decided, let's finish in style, boys. And it's like, oh, Lunara exists. Oh, okay.
That's just really like this. We had a lot of fun watching that game backstage. I mean, that was...
and you know what, Jay, how if you have a good replay here, make it very slow and very painful for Kalaris.
Okay, speaking of which, let's just pause it.
Oh, the boss. I remember a boss. Yeah, let's take this slow. You're right.
All right, there's only 1 kill. We're 15 and a half minutes in, which is less than half the game at this point. But Alex is really deep. The rest of his team starts to retreat. Let's play this forward just a little bit. This is actually really good Entomb. It traps him in there, but the rest of his team is like, hey, wait a minute, guys, we need to back off. At the same time, the skeletal mages come out, and that basically is 2 heroics down. Now, here is where, now just stop. Stop right now. This is where the game turned around. This moment right here. Run it back so we can watch an Uberat go in, because this is where the engagement comes in. Wubby's going to go, and you're going to see a beautiful burrow charge. He's going to come up, and that's going to allow the rest of his team to catch up. A lot of times he went too deep, and the 7-sided strike would come out, but it kept him alive this time. And then also, the 3-person maul comes in, and just go ahead and pause it right now, because, guys, you know what's next? The mosh pit.
Yeah.
And we're going to see as it runs forward. Let's just go slow-mo because Mene uses it, but it doesn't force Breeze back far enough. And he comes in and he lands 3. And this is where the entire game turned around. And this is just where Fnatic said, hey, listen, we've had enough of it. We're over there in production and we're watching this and we're like, pull the trigger. Pull the trigger.
That's what Kalaris actually said. Yeah, we gave him 3 kills.
That wasn't even the boss I was alluding to. It's the next one that you probably have a replay of. We'll see.
Yeah. But that was the moment where Kalaris was, Fine. 3 kills, like, we would take it easy on them in
Yeah,
this one.
the keep ended up going down, and that's what they knew. They were like, all right, let's just go ahead and back out. The keep's going to go. Let's just retreat there. But the fact that because Anubarak, and we saw a lot of the Mighty Gust, again, basically deter a lot of that. I mean, that's the biggest thing is when you have Falstad, you can basically disengage whenever. The problem is that it didn't quite get the results that it wanted, and we saw the follow-up by ETC. That was awesome.
Did you see those catapults, by the way, that
Holy cow.
that started to attack? Like, he was sitting there like, course on attack. Course on attack. Someone deal with those catapults. And you can actually see like the chunk of the shield goes. Calaris is turning a little bit wider. Next chunk goes, and he's like, "Someone go to the catapult!" It's down to 60%. It was brilliant.
I actually shouted. I'm surprised I didn't get picked up on the microphones.
They probably heard it. That's why they turned around.
And I think Robbie pointed out at some point, he was like, yeah, 1 catapult shot is probably 7% of the core's damage or something like that. So that was absolutely crazy. And Jayhao, the second replay is going to be just as epic as the first one.
All right, let's put it into context. All right, look at JPL. He's real deep. He's there on Muradin once again. But Storm Shield comes out on the side. But here's our highlight. Quackmix, who's up at the top. He's just fine. But there's a certain guy rotating up by the name of Alex, who's on a hero called Leoric. Now, here's the Entomb that locks it in. But let's pause it real quick. And look at the focus fire right now, because we're going to see the burrow in. And let's roll it forward just a few frames, because the burrow comes in and the Mighty Gust instantly comes out. Pause it again. Now, Wabi is up here all alone. There's no 7-sided strike, but he is all alone. But at the same time, look, Quackmix is going to get the attention here, because we're going to see the rotation up from Rhaegar. Let's roll it forward. And this was the back and forth that we saw. The chain heals come in, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute. The Ancestral doesn't land in time, and that is where the focus is. But the mosh pit comes in. I mean, the amount of stuff that was going on in this fight was unbelievable. The back and forth. This is 20 minutes in, and guys, that's like barely halfway into the game.
I made a lot of fun of Breeze in the past, all in good fun, by the way, like where he just like landed random mosh pits in the middle of nowhere because he hit the wrong button. He had like 3 scrims in a row that I watched where he just like misclicked and all of a sudden mosh pit, and I joined their TeamSpeak, and everybody, the second I joined, just starts laughing. He's like, "Calder, don't say." Don't say. But like the mosh pits that he had in this game were insane. I mean, he always caught at least 3. Sometimes he had 4 in there. Of course, oftentimes you saw a good setup with that more, but oh my god, the 2 tanks really made this game.
I think something that's interesting about the way they were using Gust as well, it was being used to enable Muradin's aggression. You would see him jump forwards very, very deep, and then they would be using the Gusts for then when Muradin needed to jump out after healing Static has done its job, to actually have like some really good synergy there for Muradin to be very aggressive.
The minute Fnatic, after that first replay that we saw, it was after that, it was just like a heavyweight fight. They were throwing haymakers. You could make a highlight film out of almost every single person. It's like, he did this, and then he did that. And they just kept coming back and forth, trading blows. That was an epic game. Wolf's out. I'm listening to Wolf. I'm getting the chills. I mean, that was just an incredible game. I can't wait for game 3.
Do we have a replay of his favorite boss?
No, not that boss. Why did they go?
Quacknix, man. How about that
I think
play?
two gems were missing.
Just why?
You don't want to lose a bet against Calder, that's for sure.
I know. He won't let you forget.
That's fine.